I've got my tea and biscuits. I'd say we're about ready, mate. Yeah, shall we do a quick sound test?
Let's rock.
Testing, testing, 1, 2. Houston, we have no problem.
Copy that, Red Leader.
What's this?
Incoming broadcast.
What? From who?
Never seen this shit before.
From James? Who's James?
James.
It's me, James Mason.
James Mason?
Gentlemen, calm down. We have a new enemy. The son of Skywalker must not become a Jedi. Ha ha! I'm so contemporary.
Clearly.
How do we know it's really you, James?
Of course it's me, you silly sausage. Don't you recognize my face?
It's a still image. You know, you could be anybody.
Can't we have a video chat?
Video chat? I'm calling you from the afterlife, you ungrateful tosspot. Do you know the strain this is putting on my soul and vocal cord? I don't have a lot of time, you bloody ingrates.
Well, listen, we'll be good.
That's better. Now that the tomfoolery is over, I have a message for you boys, and you'll do well to prick up your ears. I've been watching and listening to your shows, and although I find them delightful, there's something that's been troubling me.
What is it, James?
The golden biscuits.
The biscuits?
Yes, the bloody biscuits. You're handing them out willy-nilly. Everything has a golden biscuit. What kind of film buffs are you two? Don't you have any standards?
But James, we've reviewed some really good films.
Most of them classics.
I want to hear your thoughts on some different films. I'm bored of you waxing lyrical about Evil Dead 4 and Jaws the Return.
Well, I suppose we could branch out.
Maybe a little.
That's my boys. Well, I must be going. I'm off to wet my whistle with Frank, Dean, Sammy, and the boys at Club Obi-Wan.
Dean Martin? Frank Sinatra?
Sammy Davis Jr.
Yes, aren't they wonderful? Bloody good company, too.
Can we say hello?
Are they with you now?
I'm afraid not. How to put this delicately, but, they think you're shit.
Even Frank?
Especially Frank. Bing likes you, though, but Bing likes Spider-Man 3. Yes, dear, I'm coming. No, tell him I paid last night. Gentlemen, I have to go. Sammy has forgotten his wallet again. In the spirit of your new direction, I have taken the liberty and rewritten your entire schedule. Do be good and check your email. Ta-ta!
Hello, welcome to Geek and Biscuits. I'm one of your hosts, Grant. Unfortunately, I've got to introduce Dan. Hi, Dan. How are you? That's not an unfortunate for the audience. That's an unfortunate for you.
How you doing? All right.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Sorry about the long-winded intro.
Can I just interject really quickly? Just based on the last episode, yeah, because we did Wonder Woman 84. Just wanted to let you know that since we watched that, Gal Gadot has turned around in a statement and said that she watched it again recently, Wonder Woman 84, and she cried. Me too.
Maybe that's what the hashtag Me Too is.
It wasn't for the same reasons, I'll tell you. I just had to get that out. She sat there. I think the opening scene apparently made her really emotional, and it just said, Gal Gadot says, I cried when I watched it. I was like, yeah, I think we all did. Sorry to interrupt. I just thought I'd want to get that out.
That's absolutely brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. I love it when celebrities lie.
We'll start on a laugh.
Yeah, and incidentally, that's more laughs than I got at this film. Right, actually got one out of me. Right, so without further ado, obviously, you guys have clicked on the title. If you don't know, can't read, and you've accidentally clicked on it by accident, we are talking about Ghostbusters, or Ghostbusters Answer the Call, or Ghostbusters 2016, directed by Paul Feig. Sorry. Right, so Dan, obviously we're talking for a tiny bit years ago. So obviously we're all aware of Ghostbusters, and we've discussed all various different forms of Ghostbusters on our channel, our very first episode.
Yes.
So I think I know, and you know, where your Ghostbusters, where you started from, how you got into it. But what about 2016? When did you first hear about it? What were your initial thoughts? How did you not pass out from dying of shock at the news?
I want to put this out there that this probably will be quite a heavy-handed. I'll be honest with you straight off the bat. I didn't enjoy this at all. So I'm not going to go into this. I'm not saying, and before people even start, this isn't because it was a female-led Ghostbusters film. I want to get that right off the bat. It isn't. It's the fact that it was wrong from the beginning. The problem is Ghostbusters, like we said in the first episode, we've been wanting a proper Ghostbusters 3 for so long. We've been wanting a third part, and it just didn't come to fruition. The fact that on the initial, when they first mentioned the Ghostbusters, all the gestation period is going to be the Apatow clan, it's going to be all those sort of doing it. You think, oh great, yeah, that's great group. Got no problems being, all women or mixed sex or whatever. That doesn't matter as long as the characters are good, as long as the characters are believable, and that's what won me over for Ghostbusters '84 was the characters. Seeing this come along, and at the height of these, we'd had Bridesmaids. I didn't care for Bridesmaids. I understand its appeal. I understand why it made its money. Picking out, Melissa McCarthy. I don't. She's a bit Marmite for me. There's some films that I'll watch and think, she's great if she's playing off with someone who's really good. St. Vincent with Bill Murray, she's good in that. But then for every film like St. Vincent, you've got a Tammy, which is just dire.
Identity theft or thief or whatever. That was one of the worst films I've seen as well. Terrible.
Again, talked about the last time, Christine Wiig. You sort of think, if it's good, if it brings something new to it, and even that first teaser trailer mentioned in 1984, first teaser, and it sort of kind of set me up as like, well, maybe they're saying it is a continuation, maybe it is its own thing. They sort of almost teased that it was its own part of the franchise, and then when the international trailer came out, and they'd done away with that, and they just said, no, actually, it's a full-on reboot. Like, really? This isn't a good idea. This isn't a good way to go. So I think from that first step, it just felt like mistakes were being made early on.
Yeah.
I think, not to jump too far ahead, but I think as far as that, when the fact that there's an entire scene dedicated to them looking at YouTube comments, of people trolling them as female Ghostbusters, which is what was happening in real life, and that they felt that they had to address that in the film, which they shouldn't. A film shouldn't need to do that. But sorry to digress, but
no, you're absolutely right. I think it's really important actually, because there's two things for me. One, I was a little bit pissed off about an all-female cast, and again, I will say that that's not a sexist thing. I mean, my God, we've talked amazingly about Ripley and Sarah Connor and stuff, and even Wonder Woman, even though the film was trash. But I think that anything now, you've already established the universe, so anything now just appears like tokenism, like a publicity stunt, like, you know what I mean, just a grab for people, for a different audience, like rather than actually take the time out to revigor the universe, to breathe life back into it. It's like, what can we do that's radical but yet the same? Like it's almost like, look at these four women. How fresh will it be that the Ghostbusters? But actually, all the script will try and hit all the big beats from the original.
Yeah.
Like, fucking really?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's it. That's it. It brought absolutely nothing new and made things
gimmicky.
worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's and I can remember I sat at work 4 years ago, and when the trailer came in, I sat down with Kieran and Anne. I'll just name drop them, because hopefully if they do listen, it'd be nice to know, and not to drop them into anything really terrible. But we sat there and we were just like, this looks bad, like really bad. I was already on my back foot, as a lot of Ghostbusters fans were. If it's not going to be a third one, if the gang's not going to be back, then you have no right to use the title. Like if I'm not invited to my play box, you can't use my toys either, kind of thing. And we two female staff members walked in and spoke to us and said, "What are you watching?" And we showed them the trailer, and one of them was like, "This looks really bad, like really like poor, like completely agree with us." And then the other one was like, "Well, it's just sexist, isn't it? You guys are sexist if you're complaining about the film." And I feel then that was my little window into what the fuck's going off here. Like you said, there was a little bit of a troll campaign, and there always going to be. But like, welcome to the internet, like 2001. Like, you could put the best film out, the best trailer, and you'll always get somebody. There's guaranteed people that will always comment and say it's shit.
Yeah.
And someone will always name a sequel and then put Electric Boogaloo next to it. They always think it's guaranteed in forums. So it's nothing new and stuff. So I think, like, I just thought there'd be nothing too good came of it. And then I don't know if you saw the Sony leaks and the emails that were started to threaten Bill Murray that he has to be in this film, and you know, part of his contract and stuff. And I was bit by bit, I was reading some of the leaks and some of the scripts, and I was thinking, a dance scene really in Ghostbusters. Yeah, this is bullshit. This sounds it can't be this bad. Wow. Welcome to 2016 Ghostbusters. It's fucking worse.
You see, the dance scene for me, it was part and even though it's not the Ghostbusters themselves who actually dance, just reminds me of Universal Studios, because Beetlejuice, they did a day show. Beetlejuice possesses the Ghostbusters and makes them dance.
Yeah.
And to me, it just felt like that's what it felt like. It just felt like they'd gone, ooh, people who go to Universal Studios like this. They like to go and see the Ghostbusters, you know. And they like to see him dance and mess about. Is part and parcel of that experience. So let's just put that in there for no reason whatsoever. I just
unoriginality, mate. All borrowed ideas, all borrowed. And you very kindly lent me your copy of the Ghostbusters documentary, if you remember, talking about all things Ghostbusters revisited. And stories I've read, commentaries I've listened to on the film, YouTube videos, stuff. And the thing that always struck me about it is you've got Dan Aykroyd that wrote this fantastical version in the future of a team, of a group, of a larger team like cops or police or anything. And everyone scaled it back, and Reitman and Ramis were like, scale it back, set it now, it's got to be contemporary. And Ramis was like, the funny thing about Ghostbusters is it's the juxtaposition between the mundane, regular stuff, almost like the janitors, and this fantastical world. That you can start this film with Bill Murray sleazing his way into some girl's pants to a giant marshmallow man. Yeah. This film is a fucking cartoon. It's understood.
See, my problem, I the opening sequence, as it started, you know, and as it introduces, and the title comes up, Ghostbusters, right? And it's the same font, block silver, done in 3D. It's flashy, but it just says Ghostbusters over New York City. There's nothing. It's like the original. There's nothing special. Like the title comes in, the ghost. You get the music beat comes in. In fact, the only time they really play the Ghostbusters actual theme, well, twice, is the Fallout Boy version, which just doesn't sound right at all, and an orchestral version, which comes in later, which doesn't sound right either. But it comes up, and then they do this sort of sequence in the sort of manor house.
Yeah, people are being taken tours around, aren't they? And stuff. Yeah.
And I thought, right, fair enough, they're not doing the library ghost introduction. They're doing a riff on, the whole library ghost. And I thought, fair enough. I can see it's going. It's all right. That opening bit was okay.
Yeah.
I'd seen it be done before, but fresh eyes and all that. And then obviously, you cut Charles Dance.
Purely wasted. Absolutely wasted.
Wasted. I think Charles Dance, great actor, lovely bloke.
Same with Ed Begley Jr. as well. I think he's quite good.
Just did it for like 2 seconds. And introduced Kristen Wiig, who's again just playing a bit different, playing a bit mousy again. She's and I can see where they're going with her character. She's not any of the original Ghostbusters.
No.
Which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then straight away her involvement, as soon as you get to Melissa McCarthy's and Kate McKinnon, you're straight in with Kate McKinnon is Kate McKinnon.
Yeah.
She's playing it weird like she does in absolutely everything else. And Melissa McCarthy, even though she starts off toned down, it takes her like all the 3 seconds to get into that sort of nasally shouty thing she does.
To me, it's almost like they got Melissa McCarthy and said, right, we need you to play it slightly down, and she carried on, and they just like slipped some like kind of drugs into a coffee to slow her down. That's what it seems like. And then she wakes up halfway through the scene.
It doesn't. They went so out of their way to make Kate McKinnon's character weird for the sake of being weird. They just went, "Oh, you're a crazy scientist who deals with nuclear physics or whatever it is. You invent."
Don't forget to queef.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's queef. Let's give you Egon's haircut from the real Ghostbusters cartoon series.
Yeah.
And we'll just have you making. I mean, the first thing they turned around and said, "Oh yeah, we made a reverse tractor beam." Oh, so you made something that pushes things.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with anything?
I know.
I just don't. Oh, by the way, you remember when we wrote this book because we saw ghosts when we were little? Yeah, we're still doing that now. Because in '84, the study and the further studying it, it's an ongoing thing. They're all involved, so they've all got that common bond: Egon, Ray, and Pete.
Yeah.
And having them forced out, you feel like it's that's the only thing they've got going for them.
Yeah.
Is the job. Whereas this, Kristen Wiig is about to get tenure. She's worried about this, this book coming out and everything. She could quite happily turn around and go, you know what? Do you know what? It's all right. I'll just not show my boss the Amazon page that I'm hiding on my desktop.
Yeah.
You don't have to find out about this book. And even if he does, she just turn around and go, that's something I wrote in my youth. Doesn't apply to me anymore. So I did it. It just seems so convoluted.
It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon world. I know I said it at the beginning, but it really does. Like Ghostbusters is a coming into business story. Like Egon's weird but real. Ray's like techie but full of heart, and like he'd be your best buddy if you were on the team. He'd be your anchor and stuff. Bill Murray's a cunt, and you love him, and he's an opportunist, but he's great. He's our little con man, and he cares about these two people. Yeah, and he's the first to defend them. These guys exist from scene to scene. They spend more time on fucking jokes about Chinese takeaway than they do on setting the rules of the universe up about what they can do to ghosts. Can we catch them in a trap? No. Can we shoot them dead and they lie on the floor? Yes. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's the thing. It didn't. Any of it. The rules that they've created for themselves just went out the window. I just didn't get. It's sort of rushing forward to it because it is such a mess. It's just rushing forward towards the end where they are zapping the ghosts. They are sort of supposed to be busting. And like you said, fair enough. They've tried to make them look different. They tried to make them look uniformly pretty. Like sort of blue with it and phasing in and out of skeletons or things. And you've got the odd monster one, you've got like the dragon bit and stuff like that. Fair enough. But having the light sort of lay unconscious on the floor, they haven't set any kind of. Are these things corporeal or not? Are they?
Well, they put them through a ghost chipper, as they call it.
Actually, well, that's the thing. That to me, that was like they couldn't just be Ghostbusters. They had to sort of go. We do need to do something different. Oh, let's make these different weapons. Let's have grenades. Let's have. It's the handgun things. It felt
There's
to
an
me
alternate
like
cut, where Kate McKinnon licks it and she dies from radiation poisoning. That's my favourite cut of the
I just feel like they had to invent new ways of doing the same thing, and it annoyed me so much that the proton packs were smaller. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, the design looked fucking awful,
Yeah.
but it's the way that they went. Oh, we've got this on. We'll put a Faraday cage on it. That'll make it safe.
Yeah.
It's all right. So you're putting a colander on back on it. Well done.
Well,
You know,
yeah.
and but then within the next scene, after they realised everything was too heavy just to carry the proton pack, she went, "Oh, don't worry, I've done this, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that to it. They're now really lightweight and they don't have as much kickback. And oh, by the way, you've got pistols and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And the pistols, and oh my god, the pistol grabbing people and using like a lasso to fling these ghosts about when they can't use the normal proton packs properly.
No,
It's
it's
just
it feels like there's a very fine line between filler and dialogue and building up characters to create an arc for them, but it does feel like it's a collection of like every Saturday Night Live maybe sketch from every time a Ghostbusters film came out, and they just crammed together. Like, how forced and convoluted is the dialogue where the guys on the subway, oh, show me what this ghost looks like, draws it. That's my awful attempt at spray painting. But he's spray painting on the wall, and she's like, no ghost. So he's like, oh, put a line through it, and then they don't even look at it. There was no point to him drawing it, and it's just every film is like, oh, yeah, let's test out this equipment for the second time. Yeah, in the day we've had in the universe of the film, I've invented these 3 new things. Do you want to try them out, guys?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And you know what? One of the biggest evils about it is that the motivation for the villain to want to destroy the world is that he's been picked on a bit.
Yeah.
And they barely mention it.
Yeah.
Barely mention it. It's a throwaway sentence about no one liking him and him not, him being bullied. It's a throwaway line, and he's trying to this barrier that this pissed me off as well. They talk about this barrier that's preventing ghosts crossing into our universe. That out of nowhere, Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig talk about that. They've known about it forever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They do an interpreted dance to it.
Yeah. And it's a song from what they did when they were about 13. So these 13-year-old girls know about this barrier that's stopping them. How? All she did was see a grandma at the foot of the bed.
Yeah. And then she wanted to suppress that because she was bullied.
Yeah. Melissa McCarthy didn't even mention seeing a ghost herself.
No.
She just tacked onto her mate.
Yeah. It's
infuriating. The whole thing, they make the joke about the firehouse. They couldn't afford it, so they above a Chinese. And like you said, they keep going on about how shit this Chinese is because she only gets one wonton. Oh, fuck it, I don't give a shit.
Where's the comedy in that, though? Like, where is the comedy in it? It's awful.
Chris Hemsworth comes along, right? And the thing is, Chris Hemsworth is charismatic and funny and brilliant. He's a great actor. He's none of those things in this film.
The 2 times I laughed, right? And I must say, we watched the extended cut. You've not seen the actual original cut, have you? No. This is the first time you inflicted this pain and misery upon you. So there's 2 things that made me laugh in this film. One where he's being interviewed and he asks if he can bring my cat into, and it turns out he's got a dog called Michael Hat. And I laughed at it, and it is a funny joke, but it is so out of place, it's unbelievable, and it looks like they're just riffing at the table. Yeah. And the other one is Ozzy Osbourne when he went, "We did that in '74, wankers," to the Ghostbusters when they're on the stage, which is not in the regular cut. He just goes, "Sharon," and like Ozzy Osbourne's there. What year were we in? 2016. Like, God bless Ozzy Osbourne and everything he's done, but I think obviously with Black Sabbath and everything, great, and then his popularity came again when reality TV hit.
Yeah.
Are these guys 10 years too late? 12 years too late?
From it, because Osborne's is done and dusted a long time ago. It's not current. It's not. I don't know. It's the only thing that really made me smirk was, and I said this to you before, was Bill Murray's hat. Bill Murray's jaunty hat. When I first saw him, I giggled. I was like, Well, I didn't even giggle. I just smirked, and that was it. That was the literal, the only thing out of it. And this might get me a lot of stick. Might be quite a lot of stick for this. I don't care. All right, but is it Leslie Jones? Is it? I don't even
Leslie
remember.
Jones.
Leslie Jones.
Yeah.
Right.
Patty. Yeah.
Patty is one of the worst characters ever put to screen. She's annoying, obnoxious. All she does is shout, and she made a big stink online about people don't like her because she was a woman and she was black. It's not that. It's got nothing against her being a woman or being black at all. It's the fact that her character is so poorly written. All she can do is yell at the screen to get anything across, and it's not funny and it's not clever. I was annoyed by it because all she did was scream and shout.
I actually wanted Rowan to win.
Yeah, but that's something you said a long, long time ago when we first talked. First in the trailer was the power of Patty compels you line. The Exorcist is ingrained in a lot of people's minds, but for younger audiences, for new audiences, which this film was aimed at, that joke's just gone completely over their head.
And for the older audience, we've seen it before.
Yeah, we've done it.
Yeah.
I don't. And the fact that she just decides that she's going to be a Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
There's nothing. She just turns up one day and goes, "Oh yeah, well, I'm in then.
I can get access to a car."
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh yeah, right then." What the fuck?
There's no business plan. I mean, I know that sometimes films don't have the time to get through to that, but Bill Murray's coming out after mortgaging. Was he remortgaged his parents, take out 3 mortgages or remortgage something? Yep. And there's a big joke about not being able to afford anything. And then he goes to franchise rights alone and this and that. And so you can accept the fact that they're going to be an extermination squad. They're going to have enough money on them.
Yeah.
This film is just not set in the real world, and like the scene with the I think the guy's off SNL, and he's one of the mayor's protection guards or agents or whatever, and he gets in the car and he gets in the wrong car, then he gets in the other car, then he pushes something aside, he says, "I keep watching you," and it's just the dialogue between. Like the riffing is ridiculous. It is awful. It feels like they're warming up to.
Sorry to interrupt. There is one thing I did actually laugh at. I remember what it is. It took me a while to remember. It's the guy who broke his penis in Scrubs.
Yeah.
When he talks about he didn't want to be frightened in front of people because he's got a really weird scream.
Yeah.
And then he sees the ghost later on, and it's just a woman's scream that comes out of his face.
Yeah, that made it. Yeah, it did me. Yeah. But did it make you? Because it made me giggle. But then afterwards, I was annoyed because I thought that's the Ned Flanders joke from The Simpsons when the murder house thing. Yeah, but I did smile at that, and also I think it's because it's like, "This is Art Deco, you morons," and it's just that big squeal from him, which is because he's got quite a stupid, humorous face, hasn't he, as well? Yeah. So I think it does work. But like, did you see when Patty brings the car and she's like, "You got a car, you get a car"? It's like Oprah did that 10 years ago. Fucking hell!
So behind itself. And again, like I said, going back to Rowan, it's the next to no motivation to do what he's doing, and then he kills himself, and then he possesses Melissa McCarthy. Which,
why would you want to do that?
I don't know. It doesn't. Other than knocking, I don't know. I don't know. That's it. I can't find any semblance of a good film in it. There's nothing. There'd be no amount of editing or anything to make it into it, and it's not just coming from the battling brigade against anything other than it's the holy sort of Ghostbusters thing. It's nothing to do with that. It's just on its own. I would watch a Ghostbusters remake, regardless of who was in it, if it brought something new to the table, if it was justified, or rebooting it the way they've done it. It just feels like a massive step backwards. It's not just for Ghostbusters as a franchise, but for comedies. Well, comedy movies as a whole.
Well, I honestly, I cannot get out of my head how unfunny it is, and not even like the scene with the dragon ghost at the concert we've just spoken about. She jumps off the stage. She has to make a joke. No one catching her out. It's a race thing or a lady thing because I'm pissed, and it's just like, yeah, again, bringing your real life fucking shit into this film. She gets up, and the ghost attached to her shoulder, and everyone's like, yeah, but yeah, she's on your shoulder. Don't say that. And we have this like 2 minute scene where the ghost is perched on her shoulders, and she's like, I'm not having that. I'm going home, and I'm sat there figuring out like this is not funny. It's not scary. It's not a threat.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Yeah, what am I laughing at? And it's like, I just think I could sit with 5, 6, 7, or 8 people. I don't know, apart from a child, I don't know who would laugh at it. It does feel like Nickelodeon. It's like someone's written a poor version of Ghostbusters for cartoon Saturday morning, and then smashed all these Nickelodeon Haunted Mansion like gloss all over it and brought it to life like Pinocchio. All real boys and girls are playing it, and it's poor. And I think I can sum it up by the end when Kevin wakes up and he's like, I'm a Ghostbuster. And they're like, what? And he's got a sandwich. And then they throw it away, and he goes, oh, can I have a sandwich? And it throws back to him. And then she picks it up, throws it away, and he's like, can I grab a drink? And it drops to him, and she's like, what are you, a wizard? And it's just, it's awful.
Like,
yeah.
Well, it doesn't add. Again, I come back to it. It adds nothing to it. It doesn't help itself either, because they throw in stuff like that, which you can imagine. They sort of went, oh, if we could think of any ideas, how can we end this bit with Kevin? Oh, well, just why don't we try this? Someone get a sandwich, we'll try this, it might be funny. And then someone's gone, oh, like, Paul, is it Feig? I don't know how you pronounce it.
Well,
Mr. Director. And it's almost like people were too afraid to turn around to him and say it's not funny.
Yeah.
He's just got what he wants, and that based off of Bridesmaids. And that's how it feels to me. Is that Bridesmaids was a runaway hit? It was a surprise hit. It did a lot. Had a nice cast of funny actors, and it not got I can't remember. I almost forget her name. Is it like Rose Byrne? Maya Rudolph is one of these that watch her at the Oscars, and so when she's doing off-cuff stuff, I think she's great. I think she's it doesn't always hit home, but she carries up. She keeps going with it, but she's natural with it.
Yeah.
Rose Byrne, naturally funny person, doesn't have to try. You could pick, and even if you were going to do a female-centric Ghostbusters film, you could pick any other different mix. Of ladies, and I think even the most talented straight or comedic actress or actors could not have pulled that script out and made anything spectacular out of it. That's what the problem is. That's what the problem is.
There's nothing memorable in the film. There's no dialogue that's memorable. Nothing. It's everyone's lines delivered so flat. Like you said, it's just almost like it's like a dress rehearsal. Like we're gonna just riff a few things. It doesn't matter whether they're funny or not. Just get to know each other, get into it, get into your roles and stuff. And they've gone, fuck, we've run out of money. We're just gonna have to use that cut. Add the effects. It feels so lifeless. And you've got somebody like Egon Spengler in the first film who's so deadpan. From the minute where Janine's talking, where in one of the scenes, and then he lifts his head and gets up past the desk, and there's a bit of sexual tension, and just from like a meticulous things are shot. To this, did you notice the colour? The saturation is the colours.
I noticed. I don't know if you noticed, but when any of the ghosts get close to any of the actors, there's a pixelization on the faces. The intensity of the blue is too much for screens to handle. It completely, and I get they're trying to get, there's fair play to the effects guys for trying to do something different. But it's like that's not the problem. It's like, fair enough, they bring Slimer into it because they think, rather than just leaving him alone, they think, oh, we've got to have Slimer in it because it's Ghostbusters, so we're Slimer in it. But then you've got Slimer with Slimer's girlfriend with a beehive.
No. That's actually comes out the portal. It's Trans Slimer because it's obviously woke 2016 Ghostbusters.
But you know what I mean? It felt unnecessary.
I think
And
that could be the tagline of the film, mate.
it feels unnecessary. And the thing is, like the big, they do the crossing the streams, and then they always they turn around and go, don't whatever you do, don't cross the streams. So you think, oh, fair enough, they're going to go with crossing the streams, but then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So they turn around and go, oh, by the way, be careful on top of Ecto 1. It's got something to do with nuclear power on top. Oh, I wonder if we drop that in and fire that, we'll set up a nuke in the other, the underworld.
Yeah.
That close the portal. It's like, what? Why? Why would you even build that? Why would you put a nuclear device on top of a hearse roaming around in? And I get, people might complain and say, well, in Ghostbusters they had, nuclear accelerators on the back, but they were on the back. They were fully aware of it. They didn't turn around and go, oh, by the way, this is, it's not like
it's not suddenly a magic reveal where it's pulled from under it's like the toy box. Like I've got, oh, look at me, I'm a cowboy, I'm an Indian. Oh yeah, well look at me, I'm RoboCop. But it's like it's not trying to one up the story to go, we've got a magic glove.
Am I wrong in saying that it was only when the ghost stole Ecto 1 that she revealed?
Yeah. Great, we've given a ghost a nuke. Let's get out of here. Yeah. That it's bad, and you might think we're cutting corners, but that is the literal dialogue. What you just said is absolutely right. It's not an exaggeration. It's so poor, and I think as well. I'll give it. I don't know if it's Neil Casey. His name is Rowan. I think it is. Saturday Night Live. I'm sure he is. He's probably the best one in it. Is in the fact that he looks like he's a character, like he is actually in character.
He's consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
his performance is consistent throughout the entire thing. And the thing, what does fuck me off though, and out of nowhere, and this is this comes into the physics of it all. His master plan is all the way along written on in that book that he was going to kill himself. He was the catalyst.
Apathetic is the book as well. That's a grown man that drew that book. Yeah.
It's just
let's spell it out for the dummies in the audience.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so he goes through with it and everything, and when he becomes this ghost, there's still that maliciousness about him. He's going to be the fourth catalyst or whatever, the final catalyst, whatever they call it, to bring about the end of the world. And all he does is sort of bring these ghosts out to just sort of swarm about New York City. There's no real sort of big, And then it's when he turns around and he says, "Right, I'm going to lead them." So they do a tiny riff on the, choose your destructor. Sort of thing, and it becomes the animated Ghostbusters symbol. Now I remember seeing the toy for someone leaked, they were like Toy Fair and took a picture of the toy before the film was released, and I was like, "Wow, serious? That's the villain? That's." And I know we've had the staple Marshmallow Man, and people probably would have thought the same if it'd been this way around. But it's the fact that he turns into this giant. I'll call it a sackcloth ghost because it literally is. It's with a bow tie for no reason whatsoever.
Looks like a classy member of the KKK. That's
It's
passed away.
You see, first I had a problem because they had the ghost floats from the Macy's Day Parade, which didn't make any sense at all to me. It's not like why balloon why does suddenly a balloon pops? Does that mean it's got a ghost somewhere?
Why is a car not possessed by a ghost then? Why have we not got old-fashioned cars that are driving at them?
That's it. Yeah. It's like, oh, what's that? It was my sofa from 30 years ago. Oh, shit.
Bet it's going to get you.
The TV cabinet's come back. Fuck me. But it's the fact that when Rowan becomes the big Ghostbusters logo ghost, when they start blasting at him, they change the rules again. He starts burning the ghost image starts burning away. It's like it's made out of material.
Yeah,
it's never fully. In the original, the catch and contain. That's the idea. The proton packs, the stream. The stream captures the ghost, so they can put them in a trap. Yeah. That's literally it. They don't go any further. It doesn't say anything about it hurting the ghost or anything. They contain it, capture it, done. in this, they just make it up as they go along.
Yeah.
Really, what happens to one ghost doesn't happen to another. It doesn't.
I couldn't believe it when they have that little fighting montage, and as they're getting up and walking away, there's like, I think it's a hockey ghost, and then there's like not an Amish, like a kind of an old fashioned pilgrim kind of ghost. And he's like been knocked in half, and he's panting as he's dead he's on the floor like he's winded, and it's just like, why? Like what? I mean, again, you reminded me at the end as he's possessing Kevin. So Rowan is. You've got that little back and forth where again he's the only one who's consistent, who actually sounds like he's giving a bit of a stick to the Ghostbusters. He asks them to sit down. He pulls the chair out, and she falls down. And is that supposed to be funny? Because Chris Hemsworth's got this ridiculous grin on his face, and cartoon Egon is going, appreciate the comedy. Like, Kate McKinnon was lauded for this role, and I think she's awful. She takes me out of every fucking scene in the film.
I don't know. Every time I watch Kate McKinnon in anything, I just feel like she's trying too hard.
Yeah, she's the annoying class clown.
Yeah, she's. And it sounds, I don't want to bring people down on a personal level, really, but I just feel like, they've gone. She might have been Flavour of the Month for Saturday Night Live, but she's mainly famous on Saturday Night Live for playing Hillary Clinton, and that's that's about it.
Well, that's quite funny because I'm sure that the Ghostbusters and Hillary actually stood for her campaign like 4 or 5 years ago. And this film was coming out, and it got a lot of political traction, and that's where I thought, well. Naively, I thought, I mean, it makes no difference on quality, but I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, if this film's shit and the backlash it's getting, like, why would you be anywhere near this kind of thing? And then obviously it kicked off with the online, and it's still the most hated trailer on YouTube. God bless everyone who's downvoted it. And again, that's not a mean thing to say, but I think you should have a right to say this film was crap, or this film was shite, or this film is the worst thing that I've ever seen. And in 2018, I had to have a camera up my backside. Fortunately, everything was fine. And I was sat to myself as it was really hurting. At least I'm not watching Ghostbusters 2016. True story. But all that political backlash, all the online, sexist pigs, stuff like this. And then, like you said, they put it into 2 scenes in the film. They put it into the, she punches him in the face. Oh, you're a basement. Oh, Rowan, where's your virginity? Just like, really, kids? Really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Like, and then they shoot the ghost in the bollocks.
That.
Fuck.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. And he collapses. Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He holds between his legs, collapses on the floor. And I just thought, it's just cheap.
It is.
It's a cheap, unfunny. And this is the thing. This is the tragedy: is that it could have opened so many eyes to Ghostbusters. I can only hope that the people who didn't like it, who hadn't seen the original, were introduced to it, had gone back and gone, you know what? It's based on something else. So let's go and watch that, and got some enjoyment out of the original.
Yeah, and the thing is, I know we spoke about it, but like occasionally I've watching Ghostbusters stuff, and there's been like a full episode of Real Ghostbusters, and I've watched it and I've thought, these guys gave a shit about the license. Yeah. These guys cared about it, from the score to the creepiness of the monsters and the ghosts. And this film has took a shit on it.
I think they should have done. If they were going to move on, they should have done an Extreme Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great little series. It didn't last very long, but it was a good little series, and it was a good follow-on.
But when I look at Bill Murray, Aaron Ramis, Ernie Hudson, Dan Aykroyd. Yes, Dan Aykroyd's been in a lot of comedies. Yes, Bill Murray has, but they can act, and the chameleons that can be in, like Dan Aykroyd from Coneheads, God bless him, to Trading Places, to the Blues Brothers. Bill Murray from some of the serious acting roles he's done, to the very deadpan comedies, to silly comedies, Caddyshack, stuff like that. You feel they're real people, and I just felt that this film was right, I want to get the band back together. What have we got lying around that I can just fucking put together straight away and do? I always thought this and Back to the Future would be two films they'd never remake. I can't believe how wrong I was about Ghostbusters. I just I appreciate what they've tried with the ghosts, especially when you first see the one on the subway. Yeah. But when I was little, the terror dogs, I was like, well, when they come out the couch, we spoke about in our first episode.
Yeah.
I can't see a little kid being scared of any of these ghosts. Like you said, they've got the riff on the librarian. She's, oh, I love you, you're beautiful. Then you've got Kate McKinnon eating Pringles. Why are you eating? Won't you pop? Yeah, want to continue that? No, because it's not funny. So why are you talking? Like, the threat's not real. You're eating crisps. Like, it don't know whether it wants to be serious, whether it wants to be funny. It clearly does not exist in the real world. And the ghost then transforms, and it doesn't transform into this like horrific long-mouthed librarian. It just turns into like it's dead, like a skull and stuff. It's so unimaginative.
Oh, and then the vomited slime. It's just every time there's that ongoing joke with Kristen Wiig getting slimed constantly, and
it's in every crack. Oh, thanks for that film.
And I don't, there are people who would defend it, and there are people who have enjoyed it, and there's a fantastic Ghostbusters Facebook page, and people should go out and look at it. I think it's Ghostbusters Fans Worldwide or something. It's a really great, strong community, and they have had people bashing on Ghostbusters 2016, and it does draw a lot of arguments. You get people saying, "Oh, why are you coming here to bash that?" And you get people, "Well, it's my freedom of speech. It's it's my right to." And so, well, we don't want to listen to that. And it's the same way you get with a lot of Star Wars people bashing and whatever. But it's a great, strong community, and I think there is a lot of love for this film, and I'm glad people have found something in it. Those who've gotten away with whatever, God bless you for finding something worthwhile in it. It's just it wasn't there for me. There's nothing enjoyable. I would rather go back to a time when my kids were babies.
Yeah.
And you know this, milk vomit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had it in your mouth yet?
Not yet. No,
close. Yeah, it's pretty fucking horrendous, and I would rather spend a day having my kids vomit in my mouth than ever watch that again.
Yeah, I have to say that I think you're right. I think I think you're right. I think God bless the people that can find something in it. Honestly. Also, what drugs are you taking or supplements? Because it sounds like an amazing thing. I also thought there's a very manipulative side came out, because when the reviews came in, I was like, this is a train wreck. Before I watched it, I read everything, I reread it when it came out, read the script, and I was like, this is a train wreck. I've got to see it just out of morbid curiosity. And it was getting four stars. 4 stars from these critics. It's it's the kind of like, let's push the narrative, it's progressive, we've got women here, which we've spoke about a little before. We don't want to go into it too much because we like to stay away from that, and everyone is entitled to their opinion, absolutely, but films should be judged on the merit of the film alone.
How much do you think that was out of fear? Because of how much bullshit came out about everyone it being sort of sexist and everything, but how much do you think these reviews were honest, or how much I think there must be at least a percentage of these reviews that was rating it higher because they didn't want to be seen as being sexist. Ernie Hudson, prime example, he was very vocal about it shouldn't have been an all-female, and the next thing oh no, I didn't really mean it that way, and then he's in it.
Yeah,
it kind of made me feel like the studio went, shh, And again, this is the thing. It's because people went over the top about it. Just being, there's the mainstay is that the people who was very vocal about it being, a sexist thing, about it being it shouldn't be women. There is an issue there. It's going to be an ongoing issue. And like we said before, we're not addressing that would want to stay away from that. It's what we're addressing is that it's just a very poorly made, put together, written film.
Yeah. I think you're right, and I think actually you've touched on a really good thing. I think that is it better in 2020, 2016, whatever, to be seen as being like enlightened for say, and well, this is a very diverse cast. Like, as people may or may not know from watching these, like one of my favourite things ever is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This show, I think it's a fantastic watch, and sometimes it's still hidden because of its silly title, which is supposed to be ironic. But a few years ago, they talked about rebooting that, and someone had leaked some documents, and it was Buffy would be black, no problem with people's skin. Then one character would be Asian, and they literally said that they wanted one character of different ethnicity, and then a disabled Giles. And I was like, is this just like a? This feels like it's going to be an offensive Olympics at some point. Like,
it's like it's this inclusivity, and that you. It's an argument that could go on forever because it's fair enough. It's nice that they say they've had problems before where they've said they should if it's a transgender character they should be played by someone of transgender. That's fair enough. But what it should come down to is who is best fit for that role, and I don't mean that sort of based on the religion, the sexuality, or anything. It's I would rather have. If I'm going to watch something about anything like this, let's just say transgender. If I'm going to watch anything about someone who's transgender, I would rather watch a good actor or actress in that role who isn't trans.
Because you watch a film.
Yeah, than watch someone who is transgender who hasn't acted before.
Yeah.
Because it's the performance, it's the story that should carry through.
Well, it's also the term acting is you are not something like, right, okay, Harrison, you can't make Air Force One. You've never been a president. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Gary Oldman, he'd never take a part as a villain. He's been every accent going.
Well, we've got a couple of problems with hiring Gary Oldman as Dracula. One, he's not Romanian. Two, he's not been around. He's not been alive since the 1500s. Three, he's not a vampire. Oh, fuck. Sorry, Gary. Who can we get then? Well, I don't know.
Yeah, we have got a problem. He's actually gone to kill himself, not because of any of that, just because he wants to be undead. But we've got to tell him that he's just dead.
It's a big problem. I think it does feel like the genesis of Ghostbusters 2016 was, let's do a female empowered version of Ghostbusters, and rather than just wanting to make a decent Ghostbusters film, they've let that lead the way, and that's how it comes across. And again, people might.
I think you're right.
Might get bashed in comments. Fair enough. We get bashed in comments. It's just my opinion. And I just feel it comes across in its production.
Well, like we said, we'd be stupid to not look at what happened behind the scenes and the media frenzy that was created. When we talk about it, we're not picking a side or anything. We're just giving our opinion on stuff, and not really into that, but it does have an impact. And the culture war as like that happens every so many, like every decade or whatever, where back in the 70s punk and anti-establishment stuff, suddenly we had this, like 2014 2015 we had this kind of like wokeism that affected films, which came into it, where people were just going, well, that film looks all right, that film's going to win an Oscar, this film's going to do that, because they could just see that they were pandering. Which is, again, I'm not here to say whether that's right or wrong, that's up to them. But then, like with Ghostbusters, you get the reaction to we don't want this shit forced down our throat. Give us a Ghostbusters story, or if you want to make a female story about ghost catching, write an original fucking story and have it riffing off Ghostbusters. Do you know what I mean? And I think at some point, audiences are allowed to say that it's shit and give a film criticism. Like I will say, it is a slap in the face to the ethos of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
If you explain Ghostbusters to somebody who's never seen it or an older generation, they might feel, well, it's a bit of a silly title. You know, it's about ghosts, but actually, it's about three men starting a business together. It's fantastic. And it's situational, it's deadpan, it's all different kinds of comedy. It's brilliant and it's subtle.
Yeah.
Which is funny to say about a film with ghosts and a staple marshmallow man that crushes the city. This film misses everything about it. It's Ghostbusters by only title, and even then, the end credit says Ghostbusters Answer the Call, and they can't even be consistent in that. Almost like they thought, shit, we're going to get backlash here, or shit, this does feel a little bit wrong. Let's have a rebrand. Oh, too late. We'll just stick it on the end credits.
Yeah. It's well, that's it. There you are. That's it. It is just. It's a poor film made up of wrong choices. That I don't know. And again, it's like people can hang on for Afterlife. People can say, "Oh, Ghostbusters Afterlife." That could be, that's the true sequel and everything. Great, they're not rebooting everything. There's no pretense that it could be a pile of shit.
Of course, it could be. Absolutely,
it could be an absolute pile of shit. But we'll talk about that fairly. I won't, I won't be going into it going, "Oh, this is the best sequel ever" because it's a direct sequel to Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I'll base it on its merits. It's like, I'd like to do done this review based on Answer the Call's lack of merits.
Yeah, it's been. It's just. I think this film, to me, stands for everything that's wrong in Hollywood with film, like, I don't know, say 20 years down the time. I mean, like, people were fed up with this, like, it's female. It's about as much female empowerment as the Spice Girls were, and the Spice Girls, they were intentionally designed to be attractive to young girls and get the conversation about girl power going. Right, this was thrown down our throats on a daily basis, and finally we've got heroes girls can look up to, which I think actually takes the piss out of the heroes that we do have on screen that girls can look up to. What they don't realise is ramming this crap down your throat puts people off. Because God bless you, there'll be, like you said in the group, there'll be some girls that dress up as those Ghostbusters, and God bless them, they enjoyed it, they're young, okay, they might grow up and watch the 84 film later and think, oh my God, this film is shit, but I was a kid, so I'm not bashing it for them. But for people like us and our age and adults watching it, you actually just it just waters down the actual true, like, female role model characters. These guys aren't supposed to be. The thing about Ghostbusters 1 is they weren't role models for men.
No.
I was told, well, you get enough role models in your film. Well, no. Bill Murray's character, Egon, Winston was an everyday guy that was, if there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll do anything. They were real men that we were watching, real guys. I don't have to watch a film and go, oh, I'm relatable to him. Same the Star Wars thing, where they were like, well, some of the community were going, we need to make Finn and Poe gay because you guys have your representation in a film. And the last time I checked is I really like Luke Skywalker, but I can't remember being a space wizard myself. So it's just, it really, if Hollywood wanted to do a film, go away and have fun. But I really think it thought it could use Ghostbusters as a bit of an outfit to put all of this forward, and I think it was a big mistake. I think they didn't back on the fact of how popular this film still is today.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I'll go straight into it. If you're happy to, with rating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Biscuit.
You didn't even call it a soggy biscuit. You called it milk vomit biscuit.
Oh, dear.
You're going to dip your biscuits in milk.
It's like a regurgitated Rusk.
Yeah, I've got to join you, mate. Yeah, I would. It's I think this biscuit's been found at the back of the cupboard from 4 years ago. Paul Feig's arse biscuit.
It's a soggy biscuit in the wrong way.
Oh God! Yeah. Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, I'm sorry for inflicting that film on you. And this is That's the thing. I think that you've not watched it till now, and I respected your opinion totally. And there was a lot of people online that were like, "You've got to watch it, and if you don't, you're sexist," kind of thing. And I will just say, there's a big YouTube channel, probably one of the biggest YouTube channels, Cinemassacre, with the angry video game nerd, but he doesn't do as many of those anymore. He's known by his proper name as James Rolfe, and he's one of the most gentle, funny, swears all the time in character, but he's hilarious. And every time he does like a blockbuster kind of or a whole film review, he's so informative. He doesn't go into any kind of background or political. And he brought a video out saying, "I refuse to watch this film. The first film is one of the best films I've ever seen. It's not needed. So I've got no interest in watching it. It's not a continuation. I won't watch it." Real life journalists, paid journalists, were writing articles on him saying he's a sexist. Really? He's got, yeah, everyone's put him up saying, what a guy in the community. YouTube, he's been on YouTube since 2006. He's had no scandals. He's happily married. He's one of the great, nicest person. He helps people out. He has people on all the time. And people were writing. He was getting death threats and people trying to dox him where he lived. And paid real journalists was trying to put words in his mouth. And I think that's the thing. I went to watch it. You didn't. I respected your opinion not to watch it. I wish Will Smith had come along and tagged me in the face with his memory zapper. It's had so much shit along with it. And now I can just look back and say, unanimously you've said it, unanimously I've said it. But the fact is, I don't understand the film's defenders critically from a point of view as shit like that can happen. Like, it just blows my mind. It's not like they're defending Schindler's List or The Last Crusade, or sorry, Raiders of the Lost Ark or Jaws or something. Do you know what I mean? You are literally, yeah. I feel this could go on forever, actually. So I'm just going to say I'm going to just go and throw up because I want some fun now. But so like I said, sorry to put you through that, Dan. So
it's well made me bulimic.
Again, it would have been a better title, huh? More honest.
So you have to stick for that.
Yeah. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Again, let us know what we think. Are we way off the mark? Did you really enjoy it? Are we just set in our ways? Spoiler alert, no. So just give us a like, subscribe, if you wouldn't mind. Helps us out, puts us a little bit higher in the algorithms of YouTube and stuff, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, stuff. And any requests, put them in the comments because we will get around to requests very soon.
Especially if there's something that's you deem quite shit and you want us to pull apart. I mean, if you want us to review anything like that, then just get in touch. We'd like, it'd be nice to have a really mixed bag going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have to appease the Lord and Saviour, James. I'm gonna say goodnight, mate. And wash away these horrible memories.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm gonna get stinking drunk.
Right, my good man. Again, I will apologise, and I'll be apologising forever. Much like Ghostbusters 2016, I'm out of here. Goodbye, mate.
I know, mate. Bye.
Take it easy.